Every time Jen Dean speaks, I can see hope,
knowledge, expertise, wisdom, and love.
When Jen Dean speaks about parenting, we make sure that we are there to listen because we know we will get valuable advice.
Families Matter Most with Jen Dean.
She doesn't just give skills for us to be better parents, but she teaches us how to reach our children's hearts. And at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
Welcome back to Families Matter Most. It's interesting, when my kids were young, I read a lot of parenting books. I took a lot of parenting courses, and I'm not saying don't do those things. But what I will say is this. For me, I wasn't able to apply the parenting things. I knew I didn't want to yell. I wasn't able to truly stay calm until I worked on myself. Why was I being triggered? Why was I overreacting? Why was I adding in all of this emotion? Until I dealt with myself, I couldn't implement the things that I was learning and reading. So today on the podcast, I want to give you two things that will help you. Both of these are segments that aired on the provincial talk show, A Better Life with Jen Dean, across the province of Saskatchewan on 980 CJME and 650 CKOM every Sunday afternoon from 3 to 4. I want to give you two different segments that I think made a huge difference in my own life, and I believe will help you as we are working on reaching the hearts of our kids and showing up for them. The first one is a segment I did on loneliness and friendship, and I've included a 5-day friendship challenge. Are you good at making friends? I know it's weird, but let's talk about this. Making friends as an adult is hard. And nobody prepared us for this. In our 20s, everyone's kind of looking and you're in school or you're working alongside people. In our 30s, we're building careers, we're raising kids. Somewhere in our 40s and up, we look around and think, wait, why does it feel like everyone already has their circle? It's like we're in elementary school again and, we want to try out for the team and we realize tryouts already happened. They've been playing together forever and you're not invited. In a study titled, How Many Hours Does It Take to Make a Friend? They found that it takes 50 hours to move someone from an acquaintance, someone you know, to a casual friend. And then up to 200 hours to have a close friend. 50 hours. 50 hours. No wonder it feels overwhelming. And we got to make the acquaintances in the first place. I'll be honest, and I bet you can relate to this. Sometimes it's just easier to scroll on social media than to reach out to a real person. We can like someone's vacation photos for 3 years and still not know how they like their coffee. It's easier to assume everyone else is set. Everyone else all has their friends than to risk being the one who tries. I found a clip from Dr. Miriam Kermayer, a clinical psychologist and friendship expert, talking about where we even begin.
To me, a very helpful starting point is to tune into your why. What is your authentic why? Why is it that you want to build new friends? For some people, it will really be a matter of, I have certain activities and experiences that are essential to who I am and how I want to live my life. I'm a runner and I really want that experience to be a little bit more of a connected experience. And so I'm looking for new friends so that I can make that activity more connection filled. For someone else, it might be, I'm going through a very difficult time in my life and I could really use those close, intimate relationships and friendships in order to feel more emotionally supported. If you can start by accessing that authentic motivation, then you're much more likely to go on to build those authentic connections.
Dr. Miriam Kermayer, clinical psychologist and friendship expert. I think that idea of knowing your why matters. Because if your why is, I guess I should have more friends, that won't carry you very far. But if your why is, I don't want to do this season alone. I miss laughing with someone who gets me. I'm tired of being the strong one all the time. That's isolating. A listener reached out and said something I think so many of us feel, but rarely admit.
Hey, Jen. I'm calling in because what I've realized about making friends in my 40s is that it's a lot harder than I expected. I feel like everyone already has their circle, their tribe, and breaking into that is just really tough because I think that they just already have their own circle and they're not aware of those that don't have friends either. So I've just found that it's just a lot harder the older I get.
First of all, thank you for saying that out loud. You're right. I feel that. It does seem harder as we get older. It feels like everybody else already has their people and they're not looking to meet any new friends. It can feel like everyone already has their own circle and you're not in it. You're standing outside of it. But the truth is, most people's circle of friends, they weren't built intentionally. They were built by proximity. Most people are friends with the people they work with, the people they go to school with, people in their kids' sports or at their church. Not necessarily a deep connection, but these are the people that you see every day. The problem with that is your kids are going to leave that sport. You are going to retire from work one day. And I've seen too many people who retired thinking that the people they worked with were their best friends and then were devastated when they realized, no, they were coworkers. And when they retired, those friendships just fizzled out. I promise you this is 100% true. As much as it seems like everyone else has this all together, there are other people standing outside of their circles too, and they're just as nervous as you are. Friendship in adulthood doesn't happen accidentally. It happens intentionally, which is really inconvenient. I'll give you that, but also deeply worth it. I want to give you something, not homework, not a personality overhaul. There's nothing wrong with you. I want to give you a Better Life 5-day friendship challenge. Just try one small, brave thing a day. On day 1, I want you to step outside of your routine. Do one thing that puts you around new people. Remember, we got to be around someone 50 to 200 hours to make a new friend. So take a class, volunteer, join something, practice being friendly. Day 2, I want you to reach out to an acquaintance, someone you already know, and think, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind knowing them more. You could be one coffee away from a brilliant new bestie. Day 3 is keep an open mind. This is where I want you to give a friendship one more chance. This might be somebody that didn't respond when you texted them or you sent an email or you tried to reach out that time. Life is busy. Let's believe the best about that person and give one gentle follow-up. An example of this could be sending a second coffee invitation. Hey, thinking of you. It could say, hey, I know life is busy, but if you have time for a coffee, I'd love to buy you a latte. Could be, how are things going? Trying again, because people are distracted, people are busy. Let's believe the best and give one gentle, kind, gracious reminder follow-up. Day 4, I want you to think of the friendships you have, the acquaintances that you have, and I want you to choose wisely. I want you to invest energy in the friendships that are actually healthy for you. Who brings out the best in you? Who makes you feel seen and heard? Invest there. So in practice, this could look like prioritizing someone who listens and encourages you, spending less time with draining relationships, even if they are family, and choosing depth over quantity. I want you to think about the relationships you have and really invest in the positive ones. And day 5 is reconnect. I want you to send a message to someone you've lost touch with. Maybe it's an old-fashioned phone call, an email, a text, get on social media, send them a comment. I want you to think about someone you've lost touch with, someone you would say, it's been a while. I was thinking about you. Friendship doesn't require a grand gesture. You can reconnect, but it does require initiative. I dare you to try these 5 different days. Put yourself out there because you are not socially broken. You are not behind. You did not miss a secret class on how everybody else has friends but you. You are human and connection takes courage. If you want the full 5-day friendship challenge as a free download, it's at abetterlifewithjendean.com. Do you ever think about how you want to show up for the people that you love? Do you ever think about how you are showing up that maybe you don't realize? Because I'll tell you, when we are in pain, when we are upset about something, we often don't realize how we come across. This is the same for me as for you. We don't realize it. All we know is how we feel. We don't realize if we're coming across snippy, persnickety. We're talking about legacy, not the kind you leave someday, but the one you're living right now in your kitchen, in your car, at the end of a long day when your patience is hanging on by a thread. And if you're anything like me, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. I want to show up better, but also I'm tired. Yes, I know. Please, I don't mean for this to be a judgment, critical, shamey thing. I want us to work on this. I want us to try and do better. Not perfect, but doable. So here are 3 ways to start showing up in a way that feels good, something that is going to build the kind of legacy you want. Number 1, the doorway pause. I do this. This one is so simple. It's almost annoying. Before you walk into your house, before you go into your office, before you get into your car, before you open that door, pause. Just pause. Take 1 breath. Because the version of you that walks through the door, that's the version they get. Those are the most important people in your life. And who are they going to get walking through the door? I'm not saying you have to walk in like a Disney princess with birds chirping around you. I'm not saying that. I am saying maybe we don't have to walk in like a bear or a tornado either. Just pause. Take a little breath, a little reset. I will often ask myself, who do I want to be? Who do I choose to be right now? Do this before you go home after work. Do this before you go into the office. What kind of person do I want to be? How do I want to solve problems? How do I want to handle conflict? Before you go into a restaurant, a store, don't be that person that's losing it on the teller. No, who do you want to be going into that business? Every time you go through a doorway, I'm giving you 3 strategies you can implement right now, immediately, that are going to help you live a better life. We are talking about leaving a legacy. The first one was doorways. This is number 2. Repair faster than you defend. I'm not very good at this one. I'll be honest. We are very good at explaining why we snapped, at defending. Well, I was tired. They shouldn't have done that. It's been a long day. They started it. They did it first. It sounds like I'm a toddler, I know. But legacy isn't built in how you justify your behavior. It's built in how quickly you own it. So when you mess up, and you will, because you're a human, go back and say the words, you know what? I didn't handle that well. Something that I try and say is, I don't like who I was there. Can I try that again? No big speech, no TED Talk, no explaining, just repair. Hey, you know what? That is not who I want to be. I'm sorry. Can I try that again? This is where humility comes in. That moment of, I blew it, and that's not my best. Please forgive me. As I already confessed, I am not very good at this one. I get very defensive and I can feel very justified in my reactions. So I feel it. I feel everything tense up. I have to consciously choose to put it down and to say, you know what? It is not about being right. It's about being kind. And I wasn't kind. That's what I have to do. I'm giving you 3 tools. You can implement these right now. These can be a part of your life that will help you be more intentional in leaving a legacy, in choosing how you show up. That first one was doorways. The second one was repair faster than you defend. And this third one, I'm going to steal from my husband, Sean. When our kids were younger, I have 3 kids. When they were younger, our home was very chaotic. It was messy, and I was not the perfect housewife when I was a stay-at-home mom. I loved being home with my kids, but it was a mess, and we had crafts, and I often didn't have dinner ready, and it was not a calm, place of peace when my husband came home from work, not at all. And I think that's what he really wanted after a busy, stressful day. What he started doing was sitting in his car in the driveway. And I'll tell you, at first, I was pretty offended, thinking, what, you don't even want to come in the house? But we talked and he explained what he was doing. He was sitting in his car, choosing to be grateful. And before he would leave his car, he was finding 5 things he was grateful for. He was, in a way, practicing that doorway strategy of deciding who he wanted to be when he came in the house, but he would do it sitting in his car in the driveway, and he tied it into gratitude because he said there's always lots of things to be upset about. But for him to sit there and intentionally look for the positive was a powerful tool. It was a really great strategy for him to be thankful coming into the chaos. Wow, I love that I have these awesome kids. We are doing the best that we can in the midst of this beautiful, wonderful chaos. And our home is lived in. It's not going to be perfect. That helped him. It helped him to come into the home, come into the chaos, and just embrace the beautiful mess that it was when the kids were young. So those are 3 different ways to build the kind of legacy you want. You want to be remembered as a patient, kind person who was positive and grateful and intentional and always had time and patience for the most important people in your life. And this is how we do it. I would love to connect with you. Reach out. Let me know what you're thinking. How does that friendship challenge work for you? Are you going to do it? You can find me at familiesmattermost.com or A Better Life with Jen Dean. I can't wait to chat. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Families Matter Most podcast with Jen Dean. Book a free strategy call today and get the tools and tips you need to be a more calm and confident parent. For more podcasts, online courses, or just to get more information, visit familiesmattermost.com.